Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Apologetically Me. I'm Maggie,
I'm Wanda.
and we're here with an episode about moving out, living with your partners. How much money is too much money to be spending? But before we get started, Wanda, tell the people what you got going on.
As to twist it up a little, Maggie, what do you have going on this week?
um, well, I kind of have like a good news story. Lately this week, I feel like I've been settling in very nice to my new job. I've been very happy. I've been texting Wanda about how happy I am and just like the culture shock I've been going through of how great the people are. Knock on wood that doesn't change. Um, but I feel like it's nice. It's a nice change. I've never been at a workplace where I've felt so comfortable. Not comfortable, but like so Pangea with the people. There's a better word for it, but like I can't think right now.
One with the people?
Pangea, as some may say. um, but yeah, I think it's a great work culture. Really happy. Everyone seems genuine. They want to be there. Everyone's super nice. Even people I've never met before have just been the kindest to me, which is how it should be. But you would be surprised. Um, yeah, that's my small, wholesome update. Over to you.
Nice. I'm so happy you are experiencing a good workplace. I am glad that this was so far has been the right decision for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's a good call out to be, even if you are making more money at like a previous job and you don't think you'll be making as much money in your current role, it's okay to make that switch if it's better for career progression, your mental health, or just because you hate the other place. Like,
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Yeah, I definitely did have to take a little bit of a pay cut. And I really appreciate all the support and help I got from my friends and family. Not so much my family, but mostly my friends. Because, people our age, I find that people our age, we really want to grow and excel. We want to find meaning within our work. And the older generations, um, I think they really look for stability because I guess like they didn't really have a lot of that growing up. Or like my parents definitely did not, and they were just like so shocked that I would want to leave the government. Even like my mom's friend, who was like kind of one of her customers, was like, "Maggie, you silly girl, why would you ever leave? Like you're leaving behind your pension." And I was like, "Whoa, chill. I'm like 26. So like it's okay. I'll get that money back." And she was like, "I can't believe you do this." And I was like, "Oh my god, like we're not close enough for you to judge my decisions like this."
Yeah, how dare you? The
Mm-hmm.
audacity.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I was like, you really, or people in government really don't need to put 110% into it. They put 50%, 60% into it, and they're just happy at the end of the day that they're getting paid and getting a mortgage or getting their mortgage and getting their pensions paid.
Yeah. I always tell my mom, I'm like, you work too hard to be in government. Like, you're putting in way too much effort. And I just don't see that same effort when I'm with like other workers in government. So I'm like, if you didn't care about the stability and the retirement so much, I would really recommend you just go out into industry. And I don't know why I don't consider government to be industry, but I don't. It's just separate in my brain. So, my update this week, and I needed a little bit more time to think about it. But thank you for Maggie for inspiring me. Even though it wasn't really inspiration, I just really needed the time. So thank you for the time. Um, we have been trying to book a December vacation, and we usually like to go to some kind of resort in December, an all inclusive that you don't really just have to worry about anything. Like, you don't have to worry about paying like any extra money on top of what you've already paid. And it's just like the most like relaxed that you can be. Like, cuz you don't have to think about anything. You know where your meals are going to be every single day. You know like where things are going to be. Like, it's just very like you're in this little like tiny little resort, or like tiny in the scheme of things resort. And that's nice. That's what I'm looking for. Just pure relaxation. And because it's an all inclusive, and usually like you're not going to really find like that good of deals anyways, like even if you're like really strategic about how you choose things, I usually leave the picking of the December all inclusive vacation to Jordan, because I don't have to like worry about it as much, and I plan all our other vacations. So I'm like, we need to share the load. You plan this one. And that has been going unswimmingly because one, he has had very little motivation to plan this, even though he keeps on saying, "Oh, we need to plan our vacation. We need to plan our vacation." Um, Two, things are way more expensive than the last time I took an all-inclusive vacation. Like, I remember going to Barbados 4 years ago, and it was, like, under $2,000. Now the same exact package is $4,300, which is insane because it's not worth that much money. Although, very nice place. Would recommend if you have the money. And then 3, we have now opened it up to even more options of potentially going on another Montreal trip like we did last year. And this would include Maggie, Nick, and potentially our other friend Prabby. So that has caused more chaos into the plan. So now the I don't knows are further up in the air. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Like, this isn't like oh, I don't want this option because it's more complicated. I'm just saying it has added complexity to an already complex decision for some reason.
Yeah. I guess this is truly what happens when you leave the decision making to your significant other who is indecisive.
It's not even just indecisive, it's just that they don't have like a lot of opinions about things. So then when they don't have a lot of opinions about things, it's just like very out in the open. And like I've given like specific criteria of like what I kind of want, where I'd want to go and where I wouldn't want to go, and potential dates that we could go, but apparently that's still too many options. So,
That's so
but I'm
funny.
not stepping in. I refuse to look at any vacations unless we go to Montreal, and then I'll pick the Airbnb. But that's it.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Wait, so it would be resort or Montreal or both?
I don't know.
I
don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of time to go on vacations. Prabby's birthday is in December, and I did say I'd go this year, but then I was like, oh, but I was gonna plan a vacation and leave the day before, which I completely forgot is his birthday. I don't know. It's a whole thing. I have somehow developed too many plans. But also, Jordan the other day was like, I feel like we should go out more. And I'm like, the only reason we haven't been going out is because you've had COVID for 2 weeks.
And he's like, so whose fault is that?
Yeah.
We should have gone out.
Literally, we had other plans during those 2 weeks, but we had to like move them or cancel them because he had COVID. And then on top of that, like I went through every single thing. Like okay, this weekend we did this. This weekend we did this. This weekend we did this. Next weekend we're gonna do this. And he's like, oh, okay, you're right. That's like that. We are doing a lot. I was like, do you want to do more? Like, you can plan these things. Like, I don't always have to go, but you're welcome to. And he's like, no, it's fine. I'm like, how do you not realize this? How do you not remember this?
It's like I'm talking right to Nick. They're very similar.
Yeah, they truly are.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's why they get along so well.
Mm-hmm. My 2 cents is you should opt for that resort vacation because that sounds amazing. And you should not rely on me and or Nick for the Montreal trip because I'm still iffy. Because like my whole thing is I don't like taking vacation like around the holidays because I know no one's going to be there. So I'm like, okay, they need a skeleton staff. It's going to be me. But I see the whole yeah, it'd be nice to take some days off, but you know, go without me. Have a vacation without me.
I kind of just like it's also cheaper to go with you guys.
So. Oh yeah, Montreal was so cheap when it was like the 4 of us last year.
Yeah.
That was really nice.
Yeah.
And there's more food places I want to hit up, so. My TikTok has been, I really don't want my phone to hear this, but like my TikTok, like a lot of Montreal recommendations around the area we stayed. Like our Airbnb was like perfect location.
Yeah. Less perfect Airbnb, but perfect location.
Like everything about it was nice, except the fact that it had no door for one of our rooms.
And there was an extra door that led to a different apartment.
Yeah. And like a really pungent smell. And Like I remember thinking, like when I first smelled it, I was like, oh, it must be coming from like the other bathroom, Wanda and Jordan. Maybe they didn't realize it. And then I was like, no, I feel like they would have said something too. Like they would have apologized, or like they would have addressed it. So I'm like, oh my god, there's definitely a dead body in the wall somewhere.
You thought it was us?
I did
You
the first
really-
night, and I was like, I'm just not gonna say anything. Like maybe it'll leave.
Legitimately walked in. We all walked in together and was like, it kind of smells in here. And
I don't remember that part. I just remember smelling it first, and I was like, oh, maybe it's coming from that bathroom.
How dare you? I would just like to say that your bathroom, like, because we went to that bathroom first, like, because we both had to go, like, there was pee left in your toilet. So we flushed it. So, like, you should be thankful.
I am thankful. Yeah. Maybe same location, different Airbnb. Definitely a dead body hiding in the wall somewhere.
Yeah. Or even just another maybe unit in the building that's better. Okay, that's it.
Nice.
I'll keep everyone updated on where we end up.
Nice. I'm rooting for the all-inclusive resort one.
Okay, well, I feel like you're biased there, and
because I don't want to go on vacation.
Yeah. Oh, this is the first time you're ever gonna say those words.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just because I'm shy about asking for vacation because I'm still so new and I'm on probation.
You should like bring it up casually. Be like, oh, like the Christmas holidays and stuff. Like, are people taking time off? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just bring it up naturally.
Yeah.
So, what's your beef or crush of the week?
My crush is, it goes without saying, the Taylor Swift Midnights album. I will be honest, the first few listens, it took me a while to actually like it. I was just like, it's okay. And then you have to be like really in that mood, I think. Like the mood where you're like melancholy, like quiet, like you need your alone time, and you listen to it and it's like something went off in my head, and now like all the songs are just like absolute bangers. I don't think you liked it very much though. I think when I sent you some songs, you're like, it's not my thing. But I highly recommend it. I am currently in love with Mastermind because I just love the messaging behind it. Like the concept of the song is like, you thought we just got together accidentally? I laid the groundwork. I planned everything so that we got together. And I'm like, man, I really like that kind of thing. I like the
manipulation.
Love it.
Yeah, it's just not my vibe. It's just like folklore. This album hasn't been my vibe. I was more of just like her, like more upbeat pop stuff. Like I think that was more me. So it's unfortunate. Like do what she wants to do. It's okay that I no longer listen, but also it's like you didn't have to love that album. You didn't have to like it. Like you didn't have to keep listening to it until you liked it.
Oh, okay. So I have this thing with favorite artists. 1975, Taylor Swift, where I have to listen all the way through the album, like a few times, because like I think I kind of like it, but like I don't know if I'm in like the right mood. So like I added it to a playlist and I listened all the way through, and then that's when I start like picking out my favorites and then figuring out which songs I don't like. But that way I get a good listen through of the whole album.
Yeah, I don't have that much commitment, man.
Yeah, I only have this commitment to like my favorite artists. So
yeah. Last night Maggie was like, I'm going to spend $600 for Taylor Swift tickets. And then she immediately walked that back.
Yeah, because I was like, $600 is a lot of money.
But you had no issue saying it the first time.
This is true. I did want it to be a birthday present for myself, but I don't know if that's going to happen. We'll see. But I love Taylor Swift. I love the 1975. Their new album is also great. That is all I have to say about the matter. Those are my crushes. What is your beef or crush?
My crush this week is Too Good to Go. Thank you for Maggie for recommending it. I love it because it both feels like I'm doing something good, but I also can pick up snacks for myself at a very cheap price. It's like everything I love in an app. Truly. Philanthropic, cheap, and good.
Do you want to give the people the gist of how the app works?
Yeah, so basically restaurants sign up onto the app, and if they have any leftovers at the end of the day that they want to get rid of, but like they haven't been able to sell off throughout the day and they want to get rid of it, they can sell it on the app for like a cheaper price. So there's like anywhere between like $3 to like $10. And the thing is, you don't know what you're going to get though, because it's a surprise bag. So it could be like anything, but like obviously not anything, because like a bakery is probably only going to give you bakery items versus like a grocery store, probably a wider range of stuff. But anyways, you go in at a certain time when they have it open and you reserve it, you pay with your credit card, and then you go pick it up at their specified time. It has been really great because we got a giant loaf of sourdough, a bag of ciabattas, a bag of bagels, and a French baguette for $5. And that has been our entire bread budget for the week. Bread budget isn't how much bread we're eating, not how much bread is costing. But like normally, like that much stuff would be like $15.
Mm-hmm.
So my tips for if you do download the app is only go for places with a higher rating than a 4.2. If you're really skeptical, go for a 4.5 or a 4.7 or higher. But usually the higher the rating, the harder it is to get. There's this place I've been trying to get almost every single day this week, and it sells out the second it opens. And I am devastated.
That's really frustrating too for me because like I literally set an alarm and I'm like gonna be there a minute beforehand, and as I'm on the thing, it sells out. So I don't even know if it's like a bug on the app or if it's like other people who have issues too. So I don't know. I hate it.
I think it's bots. I think people make bots to be able to like get it faster.
I understand it's a really good deal, but like save some for the rest of us.
People don't really care about that.
Yeah. I also recommend if you have the time. There's a Reddit thread, and they kind of share like their goodies, and there's an Instagram app too. Oh man, is it bad if I call out like a restaurant like to not get from, but it also has a 3.1? There's one I saw on Reddit, Edible Arrangements. If you don't know, it's like they send you like fruit baskets basically, and for some reason they're on this app and they give you their leftover fruit shavings that didn't make the cut of the fruit basket. So you literally get like peeled pineapple stuff or peeled apple peelings.
Yeah, I've seen it's kind of weird. Even their image that advertises it, it's like holes cut out of like cantaloupe slices. And it's like, why would I want this?
Like I get it. Like the whole point of it is to like reduce waste.
Food waste.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like
buying fruit is just cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do go on Reddit. So if I'm skeptical about a new place, I usually Google like the restaurant, Too Good to Go, and then like Reddit on Google, and then I'll take a look at all the images and see what people say. Like, is it worth it? Is it like a good portion and things like that? And then like I make my order. Or if like I'm looking at new places, then I'll just like make sure I have my favorites list so that I can just go in at certain times and take a look and see like whatever thing is like open or whatnot. Yeah, the thing I don't understand is that are they just a non-profit app, or like how would they make profit from this?
I don't know. I have no idea. I think they do maybe take a cut. They have to make some money, but yeah, I don't really know. I remember they had reached out to my mom actually to see if she wanted to be on Too Good to Go as a vendor, and she was like, no thanks.
Yeah. There are definitely some places where I'm like, what would you have even? What would you be giving out? Like a pizza? I'm like, what are you going to sell me?
Mm-hmm. Even like when I set my location to like right downtown, like the financial district, everything has like a 3-star, and it's like convenience stores. I'm like, what are you giving people? It must not be
probably
good
just
3 stars.
Things before their best before date, or sometimes I've seen like people get things after their best before date,
which you should not be doing.
Yeah. I definitely feel like there's some places that are way better than others. Like I think those like smaller shops that are like very boutique, I think are the best.
Yeah, good location you live in.
Yeah, truly. There's so many like smaller stores and stuff. So it's like we get like a lot of like I guess, better options. Cause like the fact that you say like they're all 3 stars downtown, I feel like the most of the place I've looked at, they're at least like a 4.2.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, there's a lot of 4 stars near where we live, but sold out so fast. Not worth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But do it because you're helping out a good cause.
And you're getting a great deal.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to this week's topic, moving in with your partners, budgeting. How much money is too much money? We both did like a budget thing, reluctantly. How did you feel after you did your budget?
I I don't want to say what I actually felt because I don't like it feels bad to say it in this
No,
economy climate.
you shouldn't feel bad because this is the podcast. This is where you get the gritting, hard cutting truths. Grit.
Gritty. So the reason why I pitched it last week is because I felt like we were ordering, like Jordan and I, my partner, have been ordering food a lot. And I say this because we ordered donuts 4 times in a span of 6 days. And they're not like cheap necessarily donuts. We probably spend like $20 at least every order. Not only is that not good for our health, but I was like, this can't be good for our budget. So I decided to start tracking our October budget to see like how much money are we truly spending. And Nick had like a great budgeting system and has cool charts and everything. So I put everything in and I was like, oh, we make more money than we thought we did. And we do spend quite a bit of money. Like, I feel like we do spend quite a lot. But then it's like in comparison to how much money we make, it like we still have 75% of our after tax income left over. So even though we spend a lot, there's still a lot left over. So I was like, oh, like this isn't so bad. Like I can order out more. But then I'm like, no, that's bad.
This budget tracker thing has been a double-edged sword.
It truly has. Mm-hmm. What were your first thoughts after completing it?
Well, I tried multiple times to start this budget tracker and it scared me because I had a feeling I was doing a lot of bad things. And yeah, like I was doing it and I just like couldn't do it. Like Nick would walk in on me like on my laptop and he'd be like, hey, what's up? And I was like, oh, I'm just doing this budget tracker. And he was like, oh, you have like one box filled out. And I was like, yeah, it's making me kind of sad. So then I like closed my laptop and he was like, wait, didn't you tell Wanda we're supposed to get it done? And I was like, yeah, I'll do it when I'm less sad.
Yeah.
And he doesn't push me when I'm sad, which I feel like he should, but he's like, that feels wrong. Yes, then I finally did it yesterday and I had a quarter life crisis. I was spiraling. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I spend this much money. Not to the point where I spend my entire paycheck, but I did spend quite a bit of money last month and even in September. The month's not even over, by the way. When we're filming this, it's not even the end of October yet. So I still got some money to spend. And it's a bit of good self-reflection for me to really see where I can reel it back in and see where I should be focusing my efforts. Less eating out. It's not that I eat out with my boyfriend. Like we only eat out together maybe once a week, but it's like I keep meeting up with people. Like I'll meet up with people like maybe twice a day. Like I'll have lunch with someone, then I'll get dinner with someone. I'm like, oh, this is quite too much. No more friends.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm hearing from this.
But yeah, I think it's just about scheduling it better. But then I feel bad when I'm like, hey, I'm pretty busy like every single week. Want to meet up in 2 months?
Oh, that's what I'm doing to Prabby right now. I'm like, I'm busy this week and this week and this week. And so we're like, we are meeting up 3 weeks from now.
Yeah, I realized I think I did that to them too during the summer. So then and even though I'm like surprised Pikachu face that they didn't invite me, I'm like, wait, I told them I was busy. Or like they know I'm busy.
Yeah. It's hard now because it's like all of our expenses are very tied together. Like there's not a lot of stuff that like we don't buy together. Like a lot of food stuff, a lot of subscriptions, like a lot of like miscellaneous things are all like tied together. So I can't pull out like my portion of it unless I just half everything. But then it's like Is that productive? Should I do
Mm.
that?
I think do what works for you, but because you
Yeah.
guys are both like joined by the hip, it's okay.
I mean, he did go, like, Jordan did go to a concert that was $190 and then bought 2 beers, so, or 3 beers, so,
So he spent $1,000 on his own.
yeah. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Yeah, I think there's
um,
always going to be one person who's more conservative with their money, but
I don't know. I don't know if that's me. I think like both of us enable each other in different ways. And then like he spends some more money on some stuff, and I'm like, ooh, I don't want to spend money on that. Like whenever I go to a concert, I do not
mm,
buy any drinks because I'm like, this is too
mm-hmm.
expensive. But he does. But then like when I'm shopping, like he hasn't bought clothes in years.
So then maybe do a separate budget for just yourself. That might be
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah, I might do that afterwards because I like
Mm,
I think I need to know how like conceptually like how much is just me,
mm-hmm.
so it's like I can reel myself back in, but I don't
Mm,
need to like reel him
mm-hmm.
back in, even though I
Yeah.
should.
Even like purchases that me and Nick make together, I like cut in half because I'm like,
Mm,
actually, no, wait. If we're eating out, then I include that part of my budget again, and I'm the one paying for it. I include that in my eating out like
okay,
thing.
yeah, I think I might. I think I might do that for the month of November,
Nice. Yeah.
and because I realized I didn't factor in the transit costs either.
Mm.
I mean, we
Oh
don't.
yeah,
It's
transit.
not a lot.
That's fair. I mean, at least it's like what, $6 a day, maybe.
Oh no, it's like $6 whenever we decide to go out. So like maybe $6 every few weeks.
Then that's not bad at all.
Yeah, but it's just like it's still like I'm trying to
Yeah,
be more like meticulous
mindful.
about
Mm-hmm.
this so that
No.
I know like truly because small things add up.
Yeah. No, that's fair. Even though like my meals are maybe like 15, $20, all of that stuff adds up. I got a
Yeah.
lot to cut back down on. What are your goals for next month?
My goals for next month are to spend less money eating out on desserts because that seems to be where most of our money is sinking into right now. Figuring out what brings me joy when I'm spending money because oh, I guess my update could have been I got a new phone. But like I got a new phone after 5 years because they gave me like an unreal deal for like my plan. They were like if you upgrade now, you can get a $40 per month for 25 gigabytes of data. I was like, whoa, yes, I will do that. And the newest iPhone was just only slightly more money than like an iPhone 12 or something. So I was like, okay, I have to do it. But okay. Anyways, I got sidetracked. But the point is, I got a new phone. It didn't bring me enough joy. So now I have to figure out what does bring me joy. And in November, I'm only going to spend money on things that are going to bring me joy. Um, and also, I need to go Christmas shopping. That's my November
Oh
thing.
no, I forgot my
Yeah.
Christmas. Oh my god.
Fortunately, this year, with Jordan's family, they have decided to do a $50 budget,
Oh, nice.
and instead of like 100, so it's like nicer. It, it, it was kind of like this is a complete side story, but it was kind of awkward because we had set a $25 budget or like a $30 budget because like some like kind of struggling a little bit with money, like not like very cash rich at this point, like a few people like in the family and stuff. So we're like, okay, let's push it down. Let's all agree on for like $30. Everyone agreed. And the next day we're like with Jordan's mom's cousin. And she's like, oh, you can't buy anything for $30. You should all make it like $100 or something. And I was like, I didn't like because I don't care. Like $100 isn't like a lot of money because we're only buying one gift. Like it's a Secret Santa type thing. But I was like, okay, like but what about the other people? So I was like, no, like we wouldn't do 30. Like we don't have to spend too much on each other and all that stuff. Like the point of Christmas is blah 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 blah. And then like finally we agreed on 50 and I was like, okay, that's not bad. But still, I was like, yeah, you're not even participating in this and you're being like, oh, it's not enough money.
Oh my.
So yeah.
You really speak up for the less money people. I don't want to call them
Yeah,
poor, but you looking out for the less fortunate.
yeah, because it's just like like you don't really like in that scenario you don't kind of want to speak up because you're like, oh, like what if like,
Mm-hmm.
like you don't. So but I don't care coming off as like that type of person.
Mm-hmm. No, that's fair.
But yeah. So Christmas shopping, budgeting for Christmas shopping, which is I am fortunate because Jordan, we're not doing gifts this year,
That's
so
what I
I'm
said
only
last year.
buying. And we're not doing gifts this year. So one piece of Christmas shopping, um, reeling in the eating out and only spending money on things that bring me joy, and I have to really evaluate what does bring me joy.
Those are good goals.
What are your goals?
I didn't even think of the Christmas budget thing, but that's a really good point. I'm gonna steal that too. That Christmas budgeting. Also reeling in my eating out. I think I'm going to specifically try to do only one friend a week, and then in addition, like my boyfriend going out like once a week. So that's 2 times. So I think that should be okay. I want to cut down my eating out by a lot. Um, yeah, I think that's it for me. Like that's just like baby steps. Um, Fortunately, no one's birthday's coming up except for Prabby, I guess, but and my brother too. But we don't really buy gifts for each other, so that works. But
Yeah, you
yes,
did.
my younger brother I do. My older
Oh,
brother,
okay.
not so much. He every time I buy something for him, he just like complains about it. So then I'm like, well, you made me feel shitty for buying you a gift, so I'll just return it and not buy you anything ever again.
Yeah.
Just sibling
So
things.
just older sibling things, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sucks because it feels like I have money, but it feels like I have a good amount of disposable income, but I can't do anything with it. And I hate that. And I hate that I can't do anything with it. So there's like, what is the point of this?
Mm. What's the point to life if you can't spend your money?
Yeah. And it's like so I want to get to the point where I don't care. Where it's like I will like I can spend this money, like I can drop 4K on a vacation and I don't care about that. But I don't know how much money that's going to take for me to not care. Like, is this budgeting thing forever ingrained into my brain, or is this something that like I'm going to overcome if I make more money?
Um, it's something I thought about too. Like, no matter how rich you get, like, can you really take like the budgeting or like the money savvy thing out of you? Um, but I think you should treat yourself once in a while. Like, don't restrain yourself because yeah, you're in a good spot. I think it's okay to drop a few do re mi's on a vacation and then just like rein it back for like the next couple months.
Joe rang me. That's
Yeah.
funny. Uh, Great.
Thank you.
But the best part is Nick does not shame you for your budget, and I think that's great.
Yeah, I was really embarrassed. I really did not want to show him. It's, yeah, it's rough.
I Okay, so I asked Maggie to show me her budget because we were going to do this anyways. So I wanted to know ahead of time. And she was like, no, I can't. It's so embarrassing. And then she finally showed us, and it's not even that bad. Like, it's truly not that bad. And I say this not because Prabby was right there, who spends like a
Like
lot of money
double.
on eating out too, but that's because he doesn't cook either.
Yeah, I felt bad because like I had all this and then also like my mom like supports me a lot and like so does Nick's mom. Like they buy us like so much groceries, they like give us stuff and like I still spend this much money even with all the support. Like how am I actually going to be self-sufficient? So this was like a wake-up call for me. And that's why it's terrifying because at least you can justify it because I don't know how much support or help you get. I'm going to assume none because you guys haven't gone home in a while. Um,
um, what is anti-support mean? I pay for my mother's gas. I pay for my like a lot of my mother's groceries. She does pay for my phone bill, but in return, I have to take care of all the phone lines, which contain my entire family.
mm.
So like whenever she wants a new phone or someone wants a new thing, like I have to be the one who talks to Fido. So that's the trade I make.
I feel like she's getting the better end of the deal.
I also take her. I also spend whenever we go like for takeout and stuff. Like I'm the one spending the money because I'm the one picking it up or
Oh
like
yeah,
getting
me too.
Ubers or stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So, mm. My mother ripping me off.
I guess it's like how they see it. It's like this is what I get in return after all these
Yeah.
years. It's finally paying off my ROI.
Children
Yeah,
ROI.
exactly. That's funny. I don't think your mom is ripping you off, but also she might be. She might be.
It's fine. It works. I don't. I mean, I occasionally complain because our car takes like the highest grade of gas, and
Oh
gas is
God.
so expensive. And I'm like, I just spent $120 on gas.
Ugh.
Yeah. She's always like, "Oh, I'll e-transfer you. I'll e-transfer you," and then she never does. And I'm like,
Mm.
mm,
I tried to
it's fine.
e-transfer my mom once. That did not go so well. She was like, "Why are you giving me this money? This makes no sense." And then she wouldn't deposit it, and then I got charged $5. And I was like, "Okay."
Thanks, mom. Not
Yeah.
only did you not accept this nice gesture, you charged me because of it.
Yeah. It's because I have this fear that my mom will be like, "Hey, after all these years, I did all this stuff for you. You owe me money." And I'm like, "Oh my God." I not that my mom. I don't think my mom would ever do that, but yeah, just in
Yeah.
case.
I feel like you should not do that as a parent. Like that almost falls into like toxic abusive behavior because it's like it's not you didn't ask to be born.
Mm,
Like you didn't ask for to be taken care of. Like it's just kind of one of those things where it's like you should take care of your child if you wanted to have a child in the first place, you know?
mm,
And you should not be like nickel and diming your children in that like like okay well like because I raised you now you owe me this and this and this and this and
mm,
this. Like I think
yeah.
it's different if your like child like borrows money from you to do something and then
Mm-hmm.
like doesn't pay it back, like that's different. But being like, oh well, I paid for groceries here so you should pay me back $60 here, I think is a little like
Mm. Not to be. I hope it's not feeding into any stereotypes or racism, but my mom says that Asian parents are different than white parents, where Asian parents will literally give the shirt off their back to the kids, and white parents will kind of be like nickel and dime kind of thing. Like as soon as you turn 18, like you're out of the house, like pay me rent, like you owe me money for this, like that kind of thing.
my mom says kind of the same thing.
Mm.
So I maybe racism, but
Yeah.
yeah. So like how do you feel? So this whole conversation about budgeting came up last night when we went out for wings, and Jordan and Prabby both agreed that it's okay to have a small point of your life where you spend basically all the money that you make and you put nothing away. How do you feel about this?
Um, I like part of me agrees with that, but another part of me is just like I love money. And it hurts me that I spend so much of it. Okay, so part of me like wants to agree with that. Like, yes, it's okay, small part of your life, you spend a lot of money, it's all good. I think that situation should apply to like vacations or like anything you look back and you can like be fond about it. Like you have good memories about it. But in my case, that was only 1 month where I went on vacation. The other month that was just me eating out a lot. And I feel like that didn't like yeah, it sparked me joy seeing the people, but I feel like I didn't have to see them like that often. Like I could have like spaced it out a little bit or like we could have done another activity or like I could have gotten something less expensive or something like that. Like yeah. So I just think like I could have spent my money on something better.
Yeah. Like how do you feel about the people who like so you would never be one of those like people who could spend all of their income?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not. I love money. Money, 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 money. I'm Mr. Krabs.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I think my whole thing is like I don't know how I could spend that much money at this point in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think rent takes up a big portion of it, but I know that if I didn't have Jordan, I would not be living downtown by myself because I just don't need to. Maggie goes home every weekend anyways. So And it doesn't feel as safe to be like living downtown
Hmm.
by myself as a female. And I know a lot of people do it, but I just personally I don't feel safe about it. Like I like going back and knowing that if someone was following me, that Jordan could potentially take them.
Yeah, it's funny. I think we talked about it once when I was like home alone and Nick wasn't there, and I was like, man, it feels so creepy without Nick here. I
Yeah.
feel like I'm gonna get like mugged, even though I live in a condo and I'm like pretty high up.
Yeah, literally the exact same feeling. There was one year where he went back for Thanksgiving, but it was like a height of COVID, so I didn't go. And I was just it was so creepy.
Hmm. Even like taking out the garbage, terrifying.
Mhm. Yeah. Basically stayed inside the entire weekend. So
Hmm. Hmm.
but yeah, so like that would be the biggest expense. I wouldn't have that expense because I wouldn't be living by myself. I just still live with my parents who don't charge me rent,
Hmm.
which is nice of them. The other thing is like I don't know, like I don't have that much of a social life. Like I don't want to go out all the time either because I am tired.
Hmm. Yeah, the day is very draining. Like even mustering up the energy to see people is like,
Mhm.
oh, I'm gonna need to relax for like 5 hours. No one talk to me.
Yeah, like literally, we had plans yesterday. I had such a busy day. I didn't even shower the entire day, even though I'd went to the gym in the morning because I was so busy in meetings and stuff and doing work. And then 6 o'clock rolls around, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to cancel. I don't want to go anymore. So, but I did it. I went, but I'm saying
Hmm.
it's like I could not do that every single day. And
Hmm.
like that is like probably does go out a lot, and that's what he likes. So I'm like, okay, like that's not me either though. And then it's like the other thing is like, okay, I can spend more money on eating out, but then I have the other side of me that wants to be healthy so that I can't do that
Hmm.
either every single day. And I can only buy so many clothes. Like after a certain point, it no longer brings me happiness anymore.
Yeah, me too. I feel like I'm going through like a clothing slump. Like I'm just like not shopping doesn't bring me joy. I don't really care what I wear. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I think it's okay. Like Pravi, for example, like he's totally okay with spending a lot of money. Um, but I'm also the mindset like save your money for a rainy day kind of thing. Like I think a
Mhm.
good rule of thumb is to what do they recommend? Like 30% of your paycheck to go into
I, th-
savings, something
I
like
thought
that.
30% goes into rent.
Ugh, what did they say? Should 10%? I forget what the recommended is. I think it's like 10 or 20%, something like that.
5 to 15
5 to 15. Holy shit.
pre-tax
Oh,
income.
geez. Oh, pre-tax. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that didn't happen last month. um, I'm just saying, like, stuff like your car breaks down. Like, my car needed to have its winter tires and brakes changed and everything. And my beautiful, beautiful mother paid for the costs. And that would
Oh.
have cost me half a month's paycheck. And then, yeah, it was an exorbitant amount of money because she bought brand new brakes and everything. Um, so, yeah, that would have been half a month paycheck. And then my other half of the paycheck, or like a quarter of it, would have gone to rent. So I would have been left with literally no money. And that would have brought me no joy at all. So that's why I say save your money for a rainy day. You don't know what could happen.
And I think that's just the difference. Like spending money and doing things brings him joy. Well,
Hmm.
like for us, saving money brings us joy. So it's like just do whatever brings you joy. The
Hmm.
other thing I was thinking of though is like, should I get a car? Like
Honestly, it's like I know they say like Toronto's very walkable, but realistically, Toronto's very big. Like
Mhm.
it's and like a lot of public transit stuff has like there's so many delays. Even like the GO train station, like it'll be so delayed. Like it's just a nightmare relying on public transit. So it sucks that you have to kind of rely on a car, but it helps so much.
Yeah. I think the area that we live in is just so drivable. Like there's parking spots everywhere if you just like, oh, like you get parking validated if you're shopping within like the building or whatever and you spend $20, or like there's just parking lots after parking lots of
Mm,
space. So I'm like, okay, like the only issue now is that our building, we can't seem to find a parking spot that someone is like willing to like sell, I guess, or we just haven't found the right area. But then I was like, if I pay for the car, would Jordan drive me home? If I would I need him to drive me home? Because it's like kind of it's difficult for him to get to where his mom lives. So he has like a lot of trouble going back. Like the GO train schedules for him isn't great.
Mm.
But like for me, it's not too big of a deal because it's basically like a GO train that runs all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it would be much more for him than for me, but I would get him to drive me home. So that is a benefit for me. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here. I feel like Prabby has gotten me into the mindset of, oh, maybe I should spend more, but
It's funny. Nick was also in the mindset of he should spend more money, and
Mhm.
look what happened. I ended up spending more money. He's doing perfectly fine. But I think a car would not be a bad idea. Because, like,
Yeah.
you're right, holidays coming up. You guys have to go back home to see your family. Be easier.
The planning, I don't know how I'm going to plan that. The holiday season is a stressful season right now.
I understand.
Yeah. And you have, he has divorced parents, so
That is truly tough.
that is
When,
3 Christmases.
yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, mine is 3 Christmases too, yeah.
Oh my God.
It's rough.
Okay. So again, like what brings you joy? I think it's like if you think that short term and you don't care about the long term, feel free to spend however much money that you want to. Our advice is probably save some money for a rainy day because you don't know what would happen.
Mm-hmm. Rent doesn't bring me joy.
But like, does living with Nick bring you joy?
Yeah, fine.
Which is like that's the thing.
Yeah,
That's what you pay
that's
the rent for.
yeah. It is
Yeah.
really weird going back home sometimes.
Oh
It's
yeah,
nice,
it's the
but
freedom. Yeah.
yeah, it's like not even that my mom is like overbearing or anything. It's just like, whoa, like
So
it's weird.
for me, it's like when you go away for a while and then like you come back and see them, they're more happy to see you. So
Yeah, they're really chatty.
yeah. Any final advice on budgeting?
um, whether it be you're too scared or you don't know where to start, always track your budget. I think that's the best advice. I wish I had started earlier, but I guess like better late than never. I think it's good to know where you stand, get an idea of how much exactly you're spending, see what you need. But like it's tough because like we did a budget like before we moved out. And we were like, this is totally doable. And now I'm like, oh, I doubled like my eating out budget. Insane. But I think budget. Budget, budget, budget. It's always great. Um get a roommate. Maybe don't move in with your partner super fast if you don't want to, but a roommate is good. Splits your costs. Yeah, that's my advice. What about you?
I think my advice is you don't need to like if doing a budget gives you anxiety, I think you don't have to do it every single month. I think you should like do it every few months. Like just take a month after it's over and then like calculate all your costs and see if you're still staying on track. If you think that your budgets are getting higher, then it's like, of course, you should probably want to reel in your spending. If your budgets are getting lower, good for you. You were spending less money than you thought you would. So it's like weighing yourself. Like
Mm-hmm.
if it gives you anxiety, you don't have to do it all the time. But I think it's like what's not good about that analogy is that you should do it sometimes.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And I think it's okay to go past your budget. Like you're going to have months where you do go past your budgets. And that if you're not super super struggling for money, and I think that's going to be okay as long as you acknowledge that you did go over it and you think about how you're going to plan for the next month.
I agree.
Um and learn how to cook for yourself.
Yeah. I do admit it is very difficult coming up with recipes and or just like things, ideas. But my life hack is check out the HelloFresh website because it's free. You can just look at their recipes and you can do the exact same thing yourself. HelloFresh is a good like I think like gateway to cooking. It really makes you love cooking again or for the first time.
Yeah. I Oh, usually when I need inspo, I go onto the HelloFresh recipe thing. I wish we were sponsored. This would be a good sponsorship.
It really would be.
Yeah. But I do go on and look at the recipes and see like these are the things I have. What can I make? I think there's websites out there that specifically do this. Like you can enter in the ingredients that you have in your fridge and they'll tell you the recipes that you could potentially make based on HelloFresh recipes and stuff. And 9 out of 10 times, you're probably going to get a good dish if it looks good. So that can inspire your love of cooking so you don't eat out all the time
Hmm.
or eat
And
unhealthy.
don't forget to eat your fruits and veggies.
But like you don't need to eat that many fruits either because they're also high in sugar.
Your veggies, most importantly. Yesterday I went the whole day without eating a single veggie.
I realized our waitress told us that our wings were going to come with carrots and celery, and they did not come with carrots and celery.
The wings were like okay also. I thought they were like gonna be fried.
They were fried.
They were?
They were fried.
You sure?
They're not breaded, but they're fried.
Oh, yeah, I wanted breaded.
Okay. Well, next time we'll go to St. Louis.
Oh my god. I remember how St. Louis made me like so dehydrated.
Yeah, it's salty. I mean, wings in general are salty. Any meat that
Mm.
you eat
Mm-hmm.
outside of the house is salty.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's fair. Well, at least I got my wings craving.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks for listening to another episode of Apologetically Me. Go follow us on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram, and go listen to us and like us wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And go and join us next Thursday for another episode of Apologetically Me.
Bye.
Bye.